Hi, I'm Jackie Gruninger with At Home Yoga and Yoga with Jackie, and it might look like you're in the middle of my home, and you are. I just thought I might talk a little bit about how if you don't have yoga props or fitness tools at home, that there are other options until you feel ready to purchase what it is you might think you need. So I'd like to start out talking a little bit about yoga props. There are all kinds of yoga props that you might find in a yoga class. A yoga mat, of course, which you don't even have to use a mat. You can use your hardwood floor, you can use your carpet. You know, there never used to be sticky mats a long time ago. So you can decide whether you want a yoga mat or not. You might also be asked in a class to have what we call blocks. I love the 4-inch foam blocks. There are all different types of blocks, but you might not have blocks. So I wanted to show you a homemade way of finding some support. And one of my favorites is taking a big can of whatever you find at the grocery store. I like a little support for my hands, something that's soft. Fold a washcloth up into quarters and then place your rubber band over just so that the top stays on. And then you can use these as your blocks. They're about the same height, almost, as a regular yoga block on its highest level. So you can place your hands on there nicely. And what's great about this is you can also turn them on their side. Now you want to make sure that they don't roll away, but if there was something that you needed on the side, you could do it that way. You could also put these on their side or upright underneath a bolster if your teacher asked you to use a bolster. So that's one option for blocks. Another option for blocks are 2 rolls of paper towels. If you're a household that's still using paper towels, and they might get squished a little bit and you might have to adjust. But one of the nice things that I like about the paper towels is in yoga, we always talk about engaging our core, making sure that we are toning the abdominal wall and supporting our lower back. And you can do that with a lighter touch on those paper towels. And what this does is it just brings you up a little higher. You can find a really open body. So paper towels can be nice. You can also turn them down as well. And then you can also use books. You do want to find books that are about the same height. So I find that these yoga books are great, and find 2 of them that just become a little bit more support for you during your yoga practice. So books are also an option. So that's some ways to use blocks without using blocks. You might also be asked to have a yoga strap. My favorite is an 8-foot strap with a D-ring, but if you don't have that at home, that's totally okay. You might be able to find a canvas or softer belt. You can use leather, but it doesn't always feel so good when you're strapping it around your body. But any type of belt would be good. If you have a shorter belt, you might take 2 belts, strap them together so then you have a longer belt. For a strap, you can also use a tie, and you might find one that's really fun. You can see this one's got Bugs Bunny all over it, but this tie can be used up and over your head, just like a strap. You can also place your foot around it, depending upon what postures you're doing or what your teacher's asking for. So those are ways to use tools to use other than a strap. A yoga blanket is oftentimes called for in yoga class. My favorite are these recycled blankets, but they also have Mexican blankets, cotton blankets. You can really use any kind of blanket from your own house. What you do want to watch out for though is that it's not too soft. So sometimes those velour-like blankets or fleece blankets, they might not have enough cushion for some of the things that we do in yoga. But if you're just using it to put under your knees to support your knees or to sit on underneath your bum in the beginning of class, any blanket will do. You can also sit on a pillow from your bed. That will work. And if it's not a really thick pillow, you might be able to put that underneath your knees while you're in something like table position. Sometimes, however, though, we're looking for something that's a little stiffer, a little more solid. And in that case, you might want to have a few towels. And you can fold the towels together, but if you fold 2 towels together, that kind of makes the thickness of one yoga blanket. And then you fold that again in half, and you can sit right on that, or you can put your knees on that. Also, depending upon what you're doing, your blanket could be like a bolster. So for that, I'd recommend that you actually use 3 towels. And towels, you know, they can be folded, they can be rolled. It just depends, just like a blanket. But you might try for a bolster an accordion fold of your blankets. And then that makes it a little bit higher. You can make it look nicer too when you're doing it yourself. And then you can use this just like you would use a bolster. You could place it up over blocks. You can lie down on it without any blocks. Whatever your teacher asks you to do with a bolster, you can really do with 3 bath towels. All right. For a bolster, you can also take 2 pillows. Again, not probably the really squishy kind, but you can take 2 pillows and just use them as a bolster. You could also take that strap or tie that you have and tie them together so that they don't go anywhere while you're doing your practice. And then you can just use them this way. You might even do 2 ties, one at the top, one at the bottom, depending upon how much support you need. It's always great to have a hand towel nearby. This hand towel can be wonderful for just rolling up a little bit to place underneath your neck, at the back of your neck when you're lying down. You can also fold it to place underneath your head for a little extra support. If you have tight hamstrings, that muscle on the back side of your leg, when your legs are out, if your hamstrings feel tight, you can just take that little bit of roll. You might not need very much to slide underneath your knees just to give yourself a little more support. So a blanket or a little hand towel can be great. Now, if you're partaking in some of our fitness classes and you don't have fitness equipment, light hand weights, things like that, just go to your cupboard. You might have a couple pound bags of beans. These are great weights. They're easy to hold on to. You can work with them in all different kinds of ways. So bags of beans. I don't have them here, but you can also use small cans, something that fits your hands. So just to have a little bit of extra resistance when you're doing your fitness classes. You might also use jugs of milk at your house. And I'd say this size here, this half-gallon size is great. And then this is kind of like a kettlebell. You fill it up with however much water you want for its weight. And then you can always hold on to the handle. You can hold 2 hands to do a variety of different things. One of my favorites is the tricep work for all that underarm stuff. You might also use a bottle of soda, depending again, how big are your hands. And there's always this little indent down here that you could hold to do the work. So see, there's lots of options for things that you have at home, and your instructors will help you find what you need if finding traditional props doesn't work for you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoy at-home yoga. We're very excited to share our practices with you. If you have any questions at all, please contact us at homeyogaandwellbeing.com or homeyogaandwellbeing@gmail.com. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you.